Today we're going to be discussing whether or not imps were used in human wars in the world of Helluva Boss, particularly if Millie's parents were involved in World War II. This was something brought to my attention by Large Susie69 on Twitter, with a lot of other people filling in the gaps. Each ring in Helluva Boss is ruled by one of the 7 princes, who tend to exploit their native demons to create an economy and culture around their sin. The most obvious example of this is Asmodeus with his succubus, who have made the Lust Ring a place of strip clubs and brothels. In addition to ruling over the Lust Ring, I believe Asmodeus has a stake in the battle for Earth that we see going on in the background of the show. The same succubus he uses in the Lust Ring are used to spread a similar culture up on Earth. This is something they seem to do under his supervision as they travel to Earth with so-called Asmodean crystals, as we saw in the Season 2 premiere. Likewise, other species in Hell seem to have business up in Earth too, with Blitz's building catering specifically to businesses that go up to Earth. Blitz's business is rare in that he is running it himself, instead of just taking work from an overlord or royal as they hand it out. In episode 5, we can see that the native Wrath Imps don't really understand this concept, or how this freelance, as they call it, can generate income. The life that they know under the rule of Satan is just farming and war. As harsh as those things can be, they are 2 things that they love, seemingly by breeding and perhaps a large dose of propaganda. It was probably the more free-thinking imps like Blitz who first migrated out of Wrath and into other rings in earlier generations. The system holding these Wrath Imps in place is so fragile that any imp that is just slightly smarter than average seems to be able to escape it. It has been said that the imps are the lowest of the low in Hell, and as such they fill in the 2 jobs that the other natives don't want to do, who on some level are seen more as people than the imps. They are each enslaved in their own unique way, ways that cater to their nature, but the other species enjoy more luxury than the imps do at the bottom of the totem pole. The most important of all being that they aren't expected to die at the whims of royals in human wars the way the imps might. I imagine Satan to be in charge of Hell's military and its war campaign, serving as Hell's general under Lucifer as its king. Hell could have a lot of reasons for sending imps up to Earth to fight in wars, including sending just a few to incite wars by killing prominent figures and framing the other people that Hell wants them warring with, causing humans to fight amongst each other instead of growing close together. For missions like this, imps like Millie would be sent in, perhaps in small teams, with a focus on precision and being able to fight government-trained elite soldiers, the same way she handles most of the Agents of Dorks in episode 6. Following a conflict like this, imps could be further used to give extra strength to one side over the other, allowing for Satan to just assign entire squadrons of imps to battle humans on behalf of other humans. In some cases, this would be done entirely without any of the humans' knowledge, but in other cases, various demons likely made deals with the humans in order to better coordinate plans, giving them as many imps as they need to defeat their enemies, as long as they followed the demons' rules. This would allow Hell to control Earth by slowly conquering it one nation at a time, and each time they would institute different changes to the quickly changing culture in the aftermath of war, with the conquerors not just spreading their own ideologies, but a little bit of Hell's in return for the imp soldiers. This would lead to changes and conquering taking place very slowly over time, preventing humans from catching on to who is really pulling the strings. Satan would likely switch sides fairly often, and perhaps even be working with several nations at the same time, all conquering their way outwards, with Satan and other demons making whatever deal suits them in the moment. As the humans of various societies catch on to demons and their nature, some would find ways to summon them with their seals, and bind them until they get the help they wanted from the demons, such as in the legends of the biblical King Solomon summoning the demons of the Yars Goetia and using them to build his great temple. But real quick, before we jump into it, I know a lot of you watching are not just big cartoon enthusiasts, but niche animation enthusiasts, so likely enjoy puppet-based animation. So today, we're promoting the upcoming convention for the Dark Crystal, The Great Conjunction. This is a 2-day convention event in Universal City, Los Angeles on November 12th and 13th, and you can even get tickets to a party at the Jim Henson Studio on Saturday night. They have a lot of cool guests, including the voices of Kira and Jen from the original movie, as well as puppeteers and other cool guests from the Age of Resistance series, so there's something here for every fan. If you love the Dark Crystal, you won't want to miss it. I'm definitely going myself. To get your own tickets, go to thegreatconjunction.com. Links, as always, are in the pinned comment down below. And now, back to the video. When Blitz first meets Millie's parents in episode 5, they are very taken with Blitz and even love his name, saying it reminds them of war, perhaps specifically Blitzkrieg, as several fans have pointed out to me. Blitzkrieg means lightning war and was a term used by Western news companies to describe a fast and powerful tactic used by Germany. As Imps who may have served in a war up on Earth, Millie's parents could have heard the word extensively in their fights no matter what side they were on, and some fans have even speculated that Blitz's father Buxo got the name to name him Blitzo from the war. At this point, Satan's involvement in Hell's wars may be so deep that they were supplying powers necessary in every war for every side, with the wars just being used to help push the other goals of Hell: the changes to human populations, the removal of cultures, the dismantling of religions, and consolidating them all under systems that are more beneficial to Hell's overall plans. Imps are the lowest of the low in Hell because they are born specifically to die in wars. Not wars that protect Hell from any enemies, but wars that are just meant to reorganize the humans on Earth. That is how expendable they are. If they survive their war career, their only purpose is to replenish the army with more imp children and do the hard work that provides for the #1 need of people in Hell: food. The Imps get paid for both forms of work, but just enough to get by, it seems, with Hell systems designed to milk people for profit in general, but Imps being targeted extra hard. Wrath Imp's life appears to be growing up on a farm with parents who served an adequate time in the war and had survived, but were now settling down. These children, at a certain age and after some training, would go on to fight in wars as well, and with Millie's talent, I imagine she worked on quite a few missions going up to Earth long before coming to work for Blitz. Certain Imps would escape this system like Millie, however, and leave to try to find work in other industries, or in startups like Blitz's, which will perhaps become more common as time goes on. One question this raises is what Moxie meant when he said that angelic weapons were changing the way war was waged. I mentioned earlier that it is possible that types of wars are waging in Hell, and thus angelic weapons could be useful in those situations, but it's something I would like to save for its own dedicated video. For this theory, however, I would like to propose that with Imps getting involved in human wars, Heaven's angels might as well. In episode 4, we learn that angels can come down to Earth and meddle pretty greatly in human affairs, even fighting against demons they run into along the way. This system itself may be corrupt, with the cherubs being used to advance Heaven's own weird agenda, but for now, I think it's safe to say that some angels may come down to Earth and fight demons who are influencing human wars. Imps are not immortal like the Earthborn sinners are when they turn to demons in Hell, and can be killed by mortal wounds or old age without angelic weapons. Angelic weapons would not be introduced until the overpopulation of sinners in the Pride Ring became a problem, since they are immortal. Angelic weapons can get left behind, as we know, and can be sold on the black market, even being turned into new weapons such as guns. These can be used to kill sinners, as I said, and even royals like Stolas. While they can't be used to kill a fallen angel like Lucifer or his daughter Charlie, they are of the highest rank in Hell, and stronger than a lot of the lower ranks of Heaven as well. If angelic weapons can kill not just sinners, but also royals like Stolas, I imagine they could kill lower level angels too, even ones sent to Earth to try and counter the war tactics of Satan's Imps. Imps might go in with angelic weapons in the modern era that help them fight back against the angels themselves, making these once immortal adversaries suddenly very easy to kill while battling on Earth. That would definitely change the way Hell wages war, as Moxie said, but I have a second video on what else he could mean coming, so hit that subscribe button so you don't miss it, and if you're in the LA area, consider checking out the upcoming Dark Crystal convention. Links as always are in the pinned comment down below. See you next time.